This is the Crawfish Practicum group presenting their Missing Find app.
Okay, great. Good morning. Well, thank you all for showing up. Thank you to the team for great effort. We were working through issues through the Kanban board, Slack, and meeting twice a week. And we actually let me rewind this real quick. So we actually just to start off real quick, we did have some communication and misunderstanding challenges, within Aura. And what we overcame to finalize the practicum unified as one team with Oleg and Aura, So HealthFind is a front and back information aggregator that searches multiple sources and displays data from the FBI, Twitter, and the news data APIs. And so at this point, here's some HealthFind session CRUD operations on Heroku. We're creating a user here. And here we're logging in a user on Heroku. And here you see APIs consumed. So here's the API being consumed on Heroku. Next is Twitter. So you see the Twitter API being consumed here, which was a lot of trouble. And next is the news data API, also working front to back. So this is front and back. In addition, we also attempted ETL, extract, transform, and load. So this is loading the FBI API data and transferring to the database. And you can see in the highlighted version here, the ID and so forth. And finally, we're just displaying it on the database. So the ID 8 for the database. And yeah, so thank you to CT staff and Mary Alice and mentors for support. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
And then Inara, did you have a section that you were going to be showing as well? Okay, perfect. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and unmute and share your screen.
Hello all. Yeah, first of all, I would like to say thank you words to people from CTD for the giving opportunity and guidance and and support. So let me continue our presentation. This is what we're expected to master, and I think we achieved some mastery of Kanban board and a Git flow, and that's a huge progress and a big experience. This is how we were working together as a team, meeting once a week, sometimes twice, discussing our urgent issues. These were things that I was responsible for: PostgreSQL, switching to Postgres, styling in views, and pagination. So for the main purpose of switching to Postgres was smooth deploy to Heroku, and you can see overall benefits of it too, and what had been done to switch. So this was our before view. You were seeing it on the Heroku, which was deployed, and that was part of miscommunication as well. And now we have this improved views with a pretty navbar, pretty icons and stuff. But of course, it needs to be worked on further. So, and this is pagination, my last issue I was working on, and you can see this pretty buttons that make it work, and it still needs to be improved somehow because it's partially working. So about the process of working together, we had issues, and I think I can skip this step on my presentation because Miguel already mentioned a little bit about this. I can go to the critique. And what I like best about the project in the very beginning is idea, and what I like right now is styling. we still need some improvements, and I think we need to change the core functionality of the application because it's really complex and it needs to be reworked. The biggest challenge, as was mentioned already, is communication and collaboration because of time constraints, personal choices and feelings. I think this is part of teamwork. And at the end, I want to say thank you to my teammates for this opportunity, for this huge experience, for all the challenges. And I think we achieved a great result by the end of this practicum. And I'm happy to be a part of this process. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Anara. Thanks,
Thank you.
Miguel. And Oleg was a part of your team as well, but I don't think he was able to make the meeting. So we just wanted to acknowledge Oleg and the job that he did as well. Too.
I'm here.
Oh, good. You're here. All right,
Yes,
wonderful.
happy to
I'm glad
join.
you were able to join. That's wonderful. So team's all here. Great job, team. You all did a really great job getting the pagination and other features kind of added in and built up and make it a cleaner project than it was at the start of your practicum. Very well done, everybody. Does anybody have any questions for the practicum team or feedback or anything that they'd like to share for a minute or two?
Yes, Mary, this Oleg. I wanted to add some words that, as my teammates mentioned, we used the Kanban board and GitHub, and of course we discussed what tasks should be done before or after, and we participate on Slack and during our weekly meetings, and even twice or more times per week, and still we have some tasks to be done and to be completed, and we decided to continue on some tasks even after practicum, and I think we'll get some results even after. And thanks for this opportunity to be in this team, and thanks Code the Dream to take this practicum, and hooray, we did it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good job. Thank you all so much. All right. So then of our React teams, anybody have a preference of who would like to go first, or should I just pick one of y'all out?
Are we able to go next?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually thinking of maybe calling on your team, Danielle, since you're
really?
right smack in the middle
Okay.
of my
That's
screen.
funny.
So I was like, maybe Danielle should go next with her team.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay.
All right, perfect. So the next group is the Singer Canary team. They built a fitness app, and our team members were Suhaila, Danielle, and Alice. So whenever you all are ready, go ahead and screen share and start telling us about your project that you had built.
So I will share my screen and I will do the demo of the app first. Share screen. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, great. So we are Singer Canary React team, and we worked on the #1 fitness app. It, like Mary Alice said, it's me, Suhaila, Danielle, and Zach, our mentor, who helped us a lot, meeting with us sometimes twice a week to figure out the project. And I will now show you what this app can do to help improve your fitness. So first, this is our homepage. On the right side, we also have our hamburger menu where you can navigate to different pages. So the first thing you want to do with this app is creating a workout that you want to view and edit. You can do that by clicking this button, and then it'll lead you to create workout page. And I will put demo workout as the name of the workout. And when I click add exercises, it loads the data of the different exercises that we pull from this API that we're using. I forgot the name, Danielle, if you could share it. So let's say I want to
Just called
add
Fitness API.
fitness API. Okay. Let's say I want to do 3-4 sit-up, an air bike, and like ankle circles. And I really want to do one set of each, only one for 1 second, because I don't want to go too hard. So if I select my exercises and edit the sets, reps, weight, and time, and I click save, the name of the workout and the array of the exercises will be saved to our Firestore, our Fire database. Yeah, so that's the one. Name and then the array here. 3 arrays that we created. And if I change my mind and say I can't do ankle circles, only want to do 2, and I click save, the changes will reflect on Firebase. So that's how you create workouts. You can also increase the sets, reps, weight, and save it. That will also show in Firebase. Went from 1 to 2. And let's say you already have a workout you've saved and you want to go edit the existing workout. I will go back to the home page. And then let's edit Alice's workout that I've created before. And then I will click on the pencil button. And right now I have only one exercise and I want to add maybe another one. No, let's not do the same workout. Let's do air bike. 1 set, 3 reps, no weight, and then for 30 seconds. And I save it. Then on our Firebase, it'll reflect the changes that I just made. And then if I delete it and save it, also same changes will reflect right away. So that's how you can use this app to create workout and edit workout. And you can see the list of exercises that you want to do. There are other functions that we were thinking, like tracking workout in terms of time, and then completing workouts so that you see which workouts you've completed. We hope to work on it even after the practicum ends, but that's basically it. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Great, good job, team. Soela or Danielle, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna talk and then show you our mock-ups. But so as you can see, we created a fitness application, and we chose this by originally making a list of ideas and then just choosing our top 3. And by choosing the application, we wanted to make sure that we used an external API. We also wanted to integrate Firebase into our application because none of us have used that before, and we thought that would be really beneficial in the long run. And we also wanted to use the CRUD operations, which is create, read, update, and delete. But like Alice was saying, as time went on, we decided that we needed to reduce the amount of data that was coming from our API, because the API that we were using had over 1,000 pieces of data. And so we decided that we were only going to just use the first 10 from the API. And what else? So yes, we eliminated some of the functionality of our application, obviously just due to time. And so to figure out what our application would look like, we used Google Slides and created mockups. Let me share my screen so you can see. Share, where are the mockups? Here we go. Okay. So as you can see here, this is what like the homepage looked like when we were first in the planning phase. So we have what the UI would look like on the right, and then on the left, we would just said what the functionalities should be. And we did that for each page and even did that with some of the buttons, just so we can fully understand what each thing should be doing, because this seemed like a simple application in our heads, but then when we went further and further into it, we were like, oh, this is more in depth than we realized. But yes, so let me stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing. Okay. And then what else? So when making this application, we did a lot of group coding actually to fetch the data from the API and also to do the CRUD functionalities and to integrate with our Firebase. But then individually, I was responsible for finding the API, routing the cancel button, creating the input for the workout title, and using and making the button to add an exercise. Suhaila was responsible for the delete button functionality, button to add workout, creating view exercise list component, and also making the exercise details such as the sets, reps, and weight. And Alice was responsible for creating the new workout button, restructuring the workout object in Firebase, and then also saving that to Firebase. What else? So like the other group, we also utilized GitHub projects, and we also met twice a week, and sometimes more depending on if we were working on a particular task that involved more time, such as basically anything that involved Firebase. Firebase was probably one of the most challenging things when using this application, since none of us had used it before. But we're really proud of the functionality of the application because we think the application is really practical, that a lot of people would hopefully like to use it. Something that we would like to work on in the future is just some of the functionalities that we weren't able to, and then also the styling, since we just used like the basic package from Bootstrap. And yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle and Alice and Suhaila, who's here in spirit, I'm sure.
And
We did have a
Marielle?
question.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good. I
We
was
did have a
gonna-
question in the chat. How did you all like working with Next.js, and what were your biggest technical challenges? And either of you can answer.
So, or go ahead, Alice, if you already know.
I think was Bootstrap part of Next.js or no? No, that was it just for me. Just like learning new syntax of Bootstrap was difficult. Also, I for some reason had really hard time with installing Next.js, so I had to like delete and install. I just didn't really understand the process of it being installed and why it's giving me certain errors. So that was the biggest challenge, technical challenge. Yeah, Danielle.
I think for me, it was finding the documentation, and then when like reading the documentation for it, making sure that what I was using, like what I was reading the documentation for, was actually for what I needed to use. Because sometimes for the documentation, they had a whole lot of things you could do, but sometimes it was just confusing on if this is what I actually needed it for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of the use case of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have so much data, you're not really sure what the code is capable of doing, so you don't even know what you actually want. There could be something better. So I think that was the difficult part. And I think I saw some hands raised too.
Any other questions or anything from
No.
anybody out there?
Yes, Mary Alice, I have one question. I was intrigued by the left menu, the black menu on the left. Is that a like a template, or did you guys actually build it? It was pretty interesting. It looks good.
That's actually from Bootstrap. Yeah, Bootstrap is highly amazing. Zach, our mentor, told us to use that way we can focus more on like the functionality of the application. But yeah, we just use the React Bootstrap application for the styling.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Gotta love those tech shortcuts once you get comfortable and familiar using them. Awesome. Well, great job, team. That was an awesome app. Thank you for sharing it with us, and thank you for all the hard work that you put in throughout Practicum. For Ignat and Kenneth's teams, do either of you have a preference of who goes next?
I think Kenneth also had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
wanted to
Kenneth.
know what the play button did next to the edit of the
of the workout? There was a play button, but is that run through the workouts with alarms, or what does that do?
It's supposed to, we're supposed to have a functionality where it tracks the workout. So that when you're done with one exercise, you say you're complete, and it shows that which exercise you're complete or not. Unfortunately, we didn't get to that part yet. So that's
Oh, I
what
had to say
it's there
something,
for.
didn't I? I'm sorry.
Why did you say something?
That's just version 1.2. That's fine. That's perfect. Good job, you guys. Good job. Any other questions
Thank
out
you.
there? All right. And then which team would like to go next? Kenneth or Ignat's team?
I can go.
Okay, perfect. Take it away whenever you're ready. Ignat. This group is the Crested Canary team with their photographer studio app, and our members were Andre and Kelvin and Ignat. So thank you all, gentlemen, and whenever you're ready, take it away.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Cool. Our project is a photographer studio app, and we were focusing on the using Firebase because this was the first time when we use it. So first of all, I was responsible for the layout of the site, and I coded the header, which contains a logo and a sign-in link, the sidebar on the side with a navigation menu with a drop-down first portfolio menu, which contains portraits and products. If we click, we can see the portraits, simple images, and if we click on the products, we can see the products, weird and psychedelic stuff. Also, those two menus coded differently. So if we choose again the products, for example, it goes in a different order with duplicating images, and that's different than the portraits, which is in the single, each picture is single. Then we have an inquiry menu that has a form that the potential client can fill in, leave their contacts, select the type of a shooting that they want, and ask for some details and submit it. And upon hitting the submit button, we see the notification that email was sent successfully. For those notifications, we used the Toastify library, thanks to Josimar, our later mentor, who helped a lot with that. And we can see, if we go to the mailbox, we can see that it goes via email with all the details that were filled out just recently. Also, we have about, this is just a plain picture and a paragraph. And of course, we have an authentication functionality. When we hit sign in, we can try to check invalid, for example, data or email address, and we can see again the message that an error occurred. Also, if the user is not signed up, there is a link below where we can create an account. And upon signing up, the user also is signing in, and we can see, oops, something happened. probably this email was used. Yeah. And when we change, you can see the message that you've been signed up and logged in again. And the link to the signing in was switched to the sign out button. This is our minimal viable product. Our stretch goals was like to have the client side upon logging in, the user profile part where the user can see, for example, the pictures that was made upon the shooting, and the user able to pick the picture that they would like to purchase. But this is a stretch goal, and we had some time constraints for some team members, and we probably will realize it later. Also, at the footer, we have like the GitHub icon that goes to our repo. And basically, we were focusing on the styling of the desktop. I would say for the photographers app, it's very important. And we were bringing our pieces together during the last weeks very intensively. And also we used, I would say, 2 or 3 libraries for the slideshow, for example, on the landing page. And as I mentioned, for message trackers, like the alert trackers, it was a Toastify library. We can also sign out and see again the sign-in link that goes to the login page again. So another stretch goal that I would mention would be the responsive version for the mobile devices, and I would replace the sidebar with a hamburger menu because it doesn't fit well on the mobile versions. So yeah, there's 2 things I would say. This is the room for improvement our app.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Ignat. It
Thank
looks
you.
really great. You all definitely put in a lot of hard work on it. How did the process go when you were starting to put all the pieces together in the last couple weeks and starting to merge all of that code into one? Did everything go fairly well with it?
We had some merge conflicts that we had to resolve, and Josimar helped us a lot with that. And yeah, we definitely had to practice with Git. I think this is an endless process during the software development.
Yes. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did anybody have any other questions? Oh, Elena had a question. Have you used a database to store pictures? How did you manage it?
Exactly. We used Firebase first. It was like the coded hardly, but then Josimar suggested us to store all the pictures into the storage, in the Firebase storage. And yeah, then we spent some time on coding the rendering. And those, for example, 2 menus, as I mentioned, were, sorry, sometimes it's freezing.
It happens to us all, don't worry.
Yep. Safari behaves differently than the Chrome. Yeah. But yeah, because we used 2 different approach to the coding, to the rendering from the Firebase storage, those 2 submenus look differently and works differently sometimes. The first menu that we've made were the products, but I decided to leave like duplicating stuff because for the products it's look really like ornamental and psychedelic. And then we fixed it with the Josimar for the portraits, and we use it like in a single version. But yeah, both of them are stored in the Firebase storage.
Wonderful. Any other questions or comments anybody wants to share? When the user signs in, do they see their uploaded pictures separately? Was one question.
Well, yeah, that's theoretically that's what we didn't realize, but for sure, yeah, each client has their own shooting, their personal shooting to pick, yeah, and that we didn't have enough time to.
Yeah, so that'll be a future feature as
Yep.
when the user signs in, it'll only pull the portraits and the products that are associated with that particular
Yep,
user.
exactly.
Yeah, awesome. It's always good to have ideas for next rounds too, since tech is always changing.
Yep.
All right,
So
good
that's
job.
pretty
Thank you so
it,
much,
yeah.
team. If Andre or Kelvin are
I
on
had
and want to
one
share
quick
anything, feel free.
question.
Oh, go ahead, Danielle. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I just wanted to ask about the slideshow. Was that a React package or how did you make the slideshow?
Yes, that was a library that I used, and it's just a simple React slideshow image that I installed. We didn't use Bootstrap. We used, for example, CSS styling on each module for specifically part of the job of each team member. And also we have a global CSS file that regulates the global things. But for the slideshow, yeah, I used a library, a React library.
Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments?
I want to say a few words. I want to say thank you for the team and for the mentors. They help a lot, and that was a very interesting project, very challenging. We hope we'll finish it in the future, and it will help a lot of new photographers to step in the business and share their products, their views, and help other people to decorate their houses, probably with a good photo shoots or good pictures. But yeah, it was a lot of challenges, but most of the challenges been successfully done, and most of the goals been like also done. Few small things still need to be done in the future, as we discussed before, but it's another challenge, and surely we'll fix it.
Yep.
Yep, great job. Yeah, it's always good to have future goals. That's wonderful. Kelvin, was there anything that you wanted to add? I saw you unmute briefly. Feel free to share if there's anything you wanted to add.
There's not very much. I just want to thank the team and the support. We had a lot of challenges with communication, different time zones and people working, but in the nick of time, we pulled off an MVP that works. I think that's really a great achievement for the time period that we had. We hope that, in the future we can make further improvements and put more time into it to get what we really want for users in future and even customers. But I want to thank everyone, thank God the Dream and Josimar very much for the support and help, especially in the last stretch of this project. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, gentlemen. Job well done. All right, so our final group to go is going to be Kenneth and Marina with the Fancy Canary team presenting Fancy Messenger. Whenever y'all are ready, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Marina can't be here. She's doing something, I'm not sure, but so I'm going to post a link in the chat so everyone can click on this link and create an account if you want, so you can follow along. We deployed our app yesterday. It's a messaging app. It's compatible on Windows, Mac, iPhone and Android. Let's see here. Oops, okay. So here's our messenger right here. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
I don't see it yet, Kenneth.
Oh, I'm not sharing, am I?
No, not yet. Yeah. Been there, done
Okay.
that.
Here we go. All
Thanks,
right.
Kenneth.
Here we go. So here's the Windows or the web version of it. So we named it this because our group is Fancy Canary. So I decided to make a fancy little canary here and style it up, you know. And so to register here, you put, you can just put whatever. And then it needs to be at least six numbers or letters for it to function. And then to put a picture, I have one that I uploaded to Imgur. So you basically upload it to any photo messaging app, and then you right click it and view it separately. And then anything with the JPEG or any type of like imaging for the ending of the link will function for the application. Let me move this down. Okay, so you post your picture here and then register. And then, this is to create a new chat, and see there's my image for my new account right here in the right corner. If I create a chat, and then here's the link right here. It probably takes a second for my image. Oh, someone already created it. Someone already. Anyways, so that's how that works. It's kind of like Snapchat where you can clear all the messages and then they're gone. So I did kind of try to make it individual deletes because with Firebase, each message generates a new like number that's the random number. I was trying to figure out how to put it into a variable. I really struggled with that. So I was able to end up putting a button here on the left to just clear the whole thing. And so that was one struggle that we had. Unfortunately, one of our teammates dropped out after a few weeks because he had some personal things taking place. So it was me and Marina and then our mentor. Then you click back here and then takes you back to the login screen. And then also, I don't know, I can't show you, I can't use an emulator because this app is deployed. So if you guys have your phones, I'm sure you guys see that it is functioning on all devices right now. Let's see. So we didn't use regular React, we used React Native, and we used Expo, and we used Firebase. So we had to relearn a lot of languages and a lot of just a lot of different things to be able to get this app to work. We ran across a lot of dependency issues because the tutorial was from over a year ago. And so we had to figure out which version was running when this was working. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Yep. And that's an iPhone, right? Okay. So yeah, so the app we had a lot of trouble with the max quota for Firebase because our app was looping in the network over and over again, and we figured that part out. We didn't really use, I don't know if we were supposed to use the GitHub like cards. We didn't do that because it was just me and Marina. We ended up communicating a lot with Slack because it was very easily, we got messages in our phones and we were able to communicate. We did a lot of coding as just a pair. And then when Abadar was available, Abadar was available pretty much anytime we needed him. He was very helpful. So that's pretty much it. If you guys want to see the code, I can pull it up as well. See, we had Expo, Firebase. There was just a lot of coding went into this. And then on the app, the components were different because we had to put them inside the Stack Navigator so that you could, go to different screens on the phone. So we had to use this, the way we did our components is with this, and it stacks them so that you're able to navigate through the screens smoothly. We did have a camera up here so we could do video chat, but that was going to take some Redux coding and we didn't have enough time for that. So we would definitely be adding that in the future, but this is a functional app. It's online, so if you guys want to use it, you can. I hope everybody likes it.
Awesome, great job.
Thank you.
Kenneth and Marina, very good job, especially when you got down to fewer members and crunch time. So yeah, this is great. Does anybody have any questions? I think Emmanuel had a question. How does the app interact with the browser's back forward API? For the messages, are you storing them someplace particular or?
They're stored on Firebase.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, I can pull that up real quick. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Let's see. Oh, I got to refresh it. This is the old one. There they are. So these are the chats.
Yeah, I was noticing when you're navigating through the app, the URL isn't changing. So I was curious how, like, if you're in a chat and you hit the browser back button, does that still work with your app?
If you hit this button.
So if you're in a chat and then you hit the back button, like go back to the past page, does that still work with the library that you're using?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, like if we're in this chat, you talking about this back button or this one?
I don't know if screen share is frozen for anyone else, but I'm still looking at Firebase.
Yeah, it is frozen. We still just have your Firebase page open, Kenneth. Or you might have it in a different window that's not sharing.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So this back button or this one?
The top one.
I think it exits out of the app now that I think about it.
I was just curious because that's the functionality you have is really impressive. I was just curious to see how that interaction also happened.
That's why we put the back button on the page so you don't use the
the browser back button. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked it.
Cool. Any other questions or comments? Anybody?
Any additional features beyond the video that you have in mind?
Probably dark mode. I know that there was a pre-built in a React Native to go when you switch dark mode on your phone, it would automatically be in dark mode. I don't have an iPhone, so I wasn't able to figure out how to get that to work, but
yeah, good job.
Awesome.
I think it's already part of the dependencies in terms of React Native.
Alice, you had a question too you wanted to share?
Yeah, I was curious, if you were to have a lot of users and they have a lot of chats, like all those data on Firebase, will Firebase start charging you for storage? Just curious.
I know that because of when we had the issue with the max quota, it would just shut down at a certain point. and send us a message telling us we needed to get the paid version so that they could start charging us, because they don't have any of my financial information. So there's no way they could charge me. But we did run into a looping issue with the network, and we were hitting max quota within like one message because it was looping a million times. And so once we figured that out, that issue stopped. But yeah, they would just cut us off.
I see. Your app is super impressive, though.
Thank you.
Very impressed.
And Marina was a genius when it came to like looking up, like when we got stuck on an issue, we would be on it for a couple hours and we would jump off, and like 5 minutes later, she's like, I found it, Kenneth, it's fixed. And then she would upload that, and then we would jump back on and start getting after it again. It was exciting because I love this front end stuff. It's like art to me. I love it. So it was an awesome time.
And your canary is super fancy. Who did the design?
I did the design for the fancy canary too. I thought the
Think better
top
than
hat
bird
was a
and top
nice.
hat. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
that's
cute.
great. I love the design too. It's really cute.
Thank you.
And I like also how it looks on Zoom behind you, because it's like the design is behind your head.
Yeah. You gotta be promoting, you gotta be your own hype man.
There you go. All right, good job. Thank you
Alex
for
had
sharing,
a question
Anna.
in the chat.
Can you delete the original chat? I was trying to test it out too to see if you
I-
could like swipe left or
couldn't-
anything.
I couldn't figure that out. I spent like 2 days trying to get the swipe to work.
Yeah.
I could have done it if this was an up-to-date dependencies, but because the dependencies are all from a year ago, then the tutorials for doing the swipe app are for the newest versions of Babel and all these different dependencies. So when I would get it to kind of like, I couldn't get it to work right. So that's why I ended up putting the delete button to delete the whole chat, because that was the only ID that I could get my hands around to do the delete process. I know for sure on my next app, I'm gonna be working on one that's up to date, so I don't run into all these dependency issues. But I did learn a lot about different versions of different softwares and dependencies, and being able to make them compatible by checking other people's projects and stuff.
Awesome. All right. Well, that covers all of our practicum groups. Thank you all so much for presenting. Thank you for your hard work. It really shows. Your projects are really amazing, and we're appreciative of you all for sharing all of the really awesome stuff that you've been building over the past several months.